Hello guys. So I'm gonna give you guys a chance to come through, and I'm going to go ahead and post it on the Patreon as well. So give me a second. Hello, how are y'all doing? We have a lot to talk about. Lots to talk about. Okay. Okay, so I just posted the link with the Patreon. So I'll give everybody a chance to come through really quickly. But we have a lot to talk about. A ton to talk about. A ton. Okay, hold on. Give me 1 second. I just want to make sure that visually everything looks okay. So I'm just checking the feed. Okay, so I hope you all are well. We are going to get started. I'm just getting the chart of the moment because we are going to be talking about the astrology that's going on right now. In a few. Hello, how are y'all doing? I have Pink over here. She's been in bed with me all day. I've been catching up on emails and work, and finishing up on some readings that I needed to catch up on. I believe I don't think I'm gonna have readings for a while available on my website. I'm gonna turn that off tonight. Just because there's a lot of stuff going on in the world. If my fro looks extra crazy, it's because I've just been home all day, so I haven't like fluffed it out properly. Pinky's gonna be right here. Her cuteness. And we have a lot of stuff to talk about. There's a lot of stuff going on in the world. I guess just like an update. I have the decks here because we're gonna be pulling some cards, but just like an update just so you guys know what's been going on. As you know, my last update that I gave you guys was that I do work at a grocery store for, like, I guess you could say my 9 to 5. It's kind of like my side job, to be honest. And there's been kind of some developments. There was a case in the store, so they're still possibly going to close the store down for 2 weeks because of that. In addition to that, my grandfather passed this weekend. He got on a ventilator. Like he was on critical condition, and then he got on a ventilator, and within like a day he actually passed. So lots of stuff going on. Honestly, lots of death going on as well. I have to do the rituals to the ancestors, welcoming in a new ancestor tonight, which is going to be a little bit intense because my relationship with it was my grandfather from my dad's side of the family. My relationship with my dad's side of the family is not necessarily as good as my relationship with my mother's side of the family. But it is still something that I need to do. The other thing that kind of happened, I guess, with that, with his passing path of like happening, is that something that I knew from last year actually came to pass. So last year around this time, actually around April, I had gone to the cemetery with my girlfriend, my wife, my fiance, whatever you want to call her, it's the same thing. Um, we have gone to the cemetery because she wanted to visit her grandma, and one of the things that happened there was that while she was doing that, and I knew it was going to happen because I'm very sensitive in cemeteries because I am a medium, so there is this, the sensitivities, it's just going to happen. One of the things that did happen is that I got a lot of messages from the spirits in the cemetery of who was going to be passing away this year. While I was there, I kept seeing a lot of names from my dad's side of the family, and I feel like his side of the family is going to be hit the hardest with this, especially with the pandemic. I didn't know how it was going to happen, and I thought it was really interesting that it was, I just kept getting his names from his side of the family, and I thought it was really interesting at the time. I was just like, okay, and I told my girlfriend this. I was like, a lot of people from my dad's side of the family are gonna pass, and it's really weird, but okay. And I just kind of, you know, was like, okay, all right, we'll see what happens next year. And next year is here, and now we have a pandemic at hand. So it's very interesting how, kind of how everything is playing out right now, and what's happening, and the story of how this happened is also very karmic as well, and I'm going to tell you why. Because I told you guys that I was struggling with my dad and like his belief in the virus itself, and him taking care of himself, and him actually giving a shit, and him like believing that he should be caring about this issue, especially because my mom is older than he is, not by 2 years, but like by, I believe, 10 years, and actually no, like 14 years actually. And so my worry first and foremost is my mom, and making sure that my sister's also healthy, because she's not necessarily the best eater or the best with medicine, like nature's medicine, and like taking her supplements even through food. Like she's not the best with that. So my biggest concern was them being okay first and foremost, and him not also getting it because he neglects his health. And one of the things that he kept saying over and over again to my mom was, well, I haven't seen anybody drop dead because of it. I haven't seen anybody pass because of it. I haven't been seeing anybody fall on the ground because of it. I haven't seen no videos. I haven't seen none of that. He just kept saying that very nonchalantly, very egotistically. My dad is a very toxic Libra. I'll tell you that right now. And he kept saying that, he kept saying that, he kept saying that. So over the weekend, when I got the call from my mom, literally yesterday, I got a call from my mom, and she was like, Abby, papa, they like passed. I was like, my initial response was, I told you so. But again, you wouldn't understand that, because if you would have to understand my relationship with my dad in order to understand how detached I was from first feeling bad in the situation versus being like, I told you so in the situation. So, but one of the things that you should know is that I don't necessarily have the most like that type of relationship, like a parental kind of relationship with my dad like that. So when she first called me and told me that, I was just like, I told you so. And she was just like, I know you told us so, and I told him so. And a roadie said the same thing, and he basically portrayed something that happens when you kind of challenge the energies and challenge the universe, which is when you say, oh, I don't see this thing happening. You are basically calling in lightning to strike at your face. And that's what he did. And that's what happens. And so now he's kind of a little bit down and depressed because it happened, and he can't say anything because the lesson was now learned. You can't just say within a pandemic, oh, I don't see anything happening. Oh, I don't see anybody dying because of this. Oh, like it was very not like it just very irritated me. And my dad is just like that, stubborn, toxic Libra. So you have to learn that lesson the hard way, and it's a very weird time within my family life as well. So there's a lot of stuff happening. Still trying to make sure Bay's safe. Still trying to make sure I'm safe as well. I'm good as far as like how I'm feeling. There's been a lot of different things happening throughout the weeks because it has gotten a lot of anxiety within like the workplace and stuff, and there was this case at my job, and like there has been like a lot of stuff happening within the spaces. And my biggest fear is, you know, just making sure my family's safe and also making sure my girlfriend is safe as well. But it has been a lot, to say the least. And I know we're gonna come out of this, but it's been an experience. So that is first and foremost what I wanted to say in regards to an update, because I know you guys haven't seen a video from me in a minute. But you definitely will, because I have more time now. Because I'm definitely off this whole week because of the case that was in my store. So I wanted to, first and foremost, I got kind of called to do this. The Spirit just told me to do a prayer. So I want you guys to do this prayer with me. This is prayers coming from one of my favorite books, Speaking with Spirit, from the Psyche Arts Temple. I love this book. It's an amazing book. Highly recommend it. Pinky's just smelling it on camera. You're so cute. You're so fat. You're so cute. Okay. So this is going to be Praises of Adoration. And I literally opened the page. And I was like, okay, Spirit wants me to do a prayer. Okay. And I opened, like, I just went to open it, and that's the first thing I saw. And I was like, oh, okay. So this is what you need. So this is what we're going to do. So this is the Praises of Adoration. So even in times like these, we need to be thankful for many things. This is like, especially for having life, for being protected as we are, for having the community that we do have, for knowing how to heal ourselves in different ways, for being put in this position where we have been, even if things around us are not necessarily the best right now. So we still need to be grateful for what we do have. And that is why we're going to be doing this prayer. So I'm going to try to go a little bit slow so you can repeat after me wherever you are. Giving thanks for all the great and small, for things that create and sustain my happiness in the form of all experiences, lessons and gifts equaling positive and perceived negative. I am grateful for people, places, and opportunities being revealed, and the opportunity to unlearn habits that no longer serve my highest good. I am grateful for the experiences that support new understanding and growth. I give thanks, calling upon the essence of the ancestors and spirit guides that stand beside, behind, and before me, leading the way. I summon your presence and grace with wonder in my heart and glory in my mouth. I honor you. I offer thanksgiving. I offer my body temple. I offer my respect and love. I ask that you guide my thoughts and deeds as appropriate, that my actions reflect the highest good. I pray a yielding spirit to hear your sacred inspiration. I pray a clear mind to acknowledge your inspiration. I pray an unadulterated will to fulfill your inspirations. Moving forward in my everyday habits, counting the blessings and the continual support. Thank you for the presence in for your presence in my life. Ashe. So that was very beautiful. So I want to talk about the astrology that's happening right now, because there's a lot of stuff happening right now. It's kind of like, it's definitely a little bit insane. Pinky's looking at me like, rub my belly, because that's all she cares about. There's definitely a lot of stuff going on right now. First and foremost, the moon is in Gemini. I have to say that because my moon is in Gemini, so we're going to be doing a lot of talking today. So I hope you're ready. I hope you're ready for this. The sun is in Aries, as you all know. Mercury is currently in Pisces right now. Venus is in Taurus. Also, Mercury, by the way, already officially came out of its post-shadow phase. So Mercury retrograde in its completion, because there's 3 phases to Mercury being retrograde, it is over. Okay, y'all can celebrate and, you know, mentally move forward into the future. Venus is in Taurus right now. Mars is in Aquarius. Jupiter is in Capricorn. Saturn is in Aquarius, which we are going to talk about. Uranus is in Taurus. Neptune is in Pisces. Pluto is in Capricorn. North Node is in Cancer. And Chiron is in Aries right now. So let's talk a little bit about a Saturn moving into Aquarius, because we did kind of talk about Saturn moving into Aquarius previously when I did my why is this pandemic happening in the first place video. So Saturn in Aquarius is going to see things kind of moving a little bit faster now that the, you know, required action is being called for by society. Aquarius energy rules society itself within how we connect and what it is and how we work with each other to be who we are together. And even while we're separated, like, what are the rules at play? How are we helping each other? What is fair to whom, and are we all benefiting from that? There is definitely a weird, eclectic, and futuristic way of perceiving things, and also a way of how we progress, how we move forward from with this energy being here for the next couple of years. Congratulations to those who are having their Saturn return, by the way. My Saturn return was very beautiful. Saturn co-rules Aquarius, so y'all should have a way better time than my Saturn in Sagittarius people were having it a couple of years ago, because I know y'all didn't like that. But Saturn co-rules Aquarius, so it is a very it is in one of its home signs, so it's not necessarily a hindrance in any way. This is not something that is going to be bad in any way. It's just something that it is a period of time in which we must evolve. Evolution is key to this, because Aquarius rules that futuristic evolution, that upgrade that society needs. We're still in the age of Aquarius, so it's a very powerful time to kind of get a huge societal update, to really look at not only us, what we're doing in this country, but what other countries are doing too. If you notice, a lot of stuff that's been happening in the news, we're like looking at what others are doing and seeing, okay, you know what, that better society in that country, so let's implement this here because it's working right now. If that's what we need, that's the response that we need. We're really kind of bouncing ideas from different societies to each other, and it's a very powerful time. And if you see what the government is doing right now, it's really kind of like detaching this way to look at what the solutions are. It's a very Aquarius thing that is happening. So there are foundations that are being transformed through Aquarius with Saturn. There is this partnership of, okay, so some karma has been dealt that we have spoken about. Some laws have been passed, and more laws will still be passed. That we've been talking about, how the government has been changing and progressively moving forward throughout the past couple of years, and how that's going to continue to happen. Pink is licking my computer. How that's going to continue to happen within the next couple of years with Aquarius, how it's going to change, what direction it's going to go to, how are we benefiting society. There's a lot of people that I've seen that are Republican, even though some Republicans are still kind of in this, like, all the old people. I don't know if you guys saw the videos of all these Republicans saying that they rather all the old people come out and work to save society, because they'd rather die than let society die. And I'm like, what? What? Like, they just don't want to stay home, and it's really crazy how that mentality is there. But it's really about looking at, and that I said that to say that there are also some Republicans that are like, yeah, social programs. People need, they're not working right now. Send them a check. They're not, like, all of these social programs that they would have not agreed to under other circumstances, under no circumstances except for this pandemic. So it's very interesting how all of a sudden you see that kind of switch happening, that reacting to the need of the people, which is a very Aquarius thing to do. Aquarius always reacts to the need of the people, unless it's a toxic Aquarius, I have to say that. So there is this beautiful kind of focus and highlight on, like, okay, what are we doing? Why are we doing it? What is the benefit? Why aren't we doing it fast enough? Like, it's almost like, and if you also look at the technology that we're pushing with, like, different medicines, even though some things are being said and people are dying from it because they're not using the proper medicine because that has not been released yet. Donald Trump is probably one of the most toxic people that could be speaking right now, because I know there was a case in Texas of a couple that took one of the medications that he said that he believes would work, and then they died, like the husband died or something from it. And it's really crazy how that is happening right now, that everybody wants like a quick solution to the problem, but nobody's willing to kind of wait, which is another Saturn in Aquarius thing, because Saturn rules time. Medication takes time for you to learn what something does, what a substance does to your body, how it's going to affect multiple people with different types of underlying illnesses. Medication, that healing through medication, whether it's like nature medicine, or artificial and man-made medicines, they still take time to study. You still need to give it time and be like, okay, this needs to be tweaked. It can only be this amount that people are taking. All of this takes time, and everybody's trying to like rush it. And again, they're gonna have karmic retributions for it. The government's gonna face karmic retributions for it, because it will cost people's lives. And these stories are going to affect society, because they're gonna be like, okay, you're saying something, you're telling us to do something that's not even proven. Like, what are we talking about here? Like, what are you doing? It's gonna be like we're gonna be able to see the humanity and the inhumane happening all around us. And it's a very powerful time to really see the truth and see how we're evolving together. There's also gonna be I personally feel like, this is my personal opinion, there's gonna be a lot of social shaming going on, because Aquarius energy, because it rules society, when you're doing something wrong and you get called out for it, it doesn't necessarily, always feel good on a personal level, even though those are moments of healing. But on a grander scale, when the government will be collectively called out for misinformation on a grander scale, like, why is this still happening? There's a lot of things that Saturn in Aquarius is gonna fix from what Saturn in Capricorn left over, that is just gonna be like, wait, why is this still okay? Why is this still happening? Why? Like, it's just questions will be answered. But it will be in a shaming way, where it's just like, yeah, this is not okay. You can't do this. You can't be giving out false information. You can't be telling people to take medicines that are not going to heal that thing that you're saying. Like, there's going to be some social retributions for these things. So it is a very powerful time for evolution to happen within our society, for us to transform, for us to be better, for us to think about different ways that we do what we do and how we can evolve from that. There's been a lot of like, all of a sudden, work rules. There's been a lot of like, oh, paid medical leave. A lot of all of these things that help us as people, help us as society, that you have to really turn around and be like, well, you know what, if it wasn't for this pandemic, we wouldn't be having these rules. People had to die for us to be in this position where we're getting these benefits. It's really insane that you have to think about now. All of a sudden, the government wants to is sending checks to people directly to their houses, because, mind you, Switzerland literally does this every month. Literally every month. You can look it up. Switzerland sends, like, I believe it's like about $1,000 in their money every month to every citizen, which is why they don't have any poor people. Period. They also have a cap on all the CEOs of companies, so they can only make up to a certain amount, so the rest of the employees have an actual proper living wage, and they're actually making money. All of these things Switzerland already was benefiting from, and society over there was benefiting from. Meanwhile, we're still kind of like, oh no, we have to send money now for 4 months of time because we don't know how long this is gonna last. And then all of a sudden you see all these bills like passing through, and then you see all these like Republicans trying to sneak in things in bills that don't make sense. So there's definitely a lot going on within our society, and you're going to see society being a bigger focal point. Even though when you look at politics, you're like, that's all, what are you talking about, Abby? That's always been a focal point. But now it takes on a more futuristic sense, because this is when our generation takes over a little bit, because we're like, hey, you guys have been moving very slow with this. You guys need to think out of the box. You guys need to pull yourself away and really look for a better solution. This is not helping everybody. So let's collectively, let us look what collectively is going to benefit people versus what your political, what you're trying to, kind of scheme your way out of and into. So there's going to be a bigger focus on that. So pay attention to the way the collective becomes important during this time. Now, on a spiritual level, what does Saturn in Aquarius does? This is actually a very beautiful placement, and I'm going to explain it this way. So because Saturn rules Capricorn, is very earth energy, he also co-rules Aquarius. He rules time. He rules essentially two aspects of our energetic bodies. That one being the root chakra with Capricorn, the other being the crown chakra with Aquarius. Now, these 2 points are very, very important. And if you meditate regularly and if you do a lot of chakra work regularly, you know why. Because one of them grounds you to the earth and to your body, and the other one elevates you and takes you up to the other realms, so you can do a lot of different work up there. So there is going to be a lot in effect within our bodies, but happening to multiple people at the same time. You're going to see a lot of evolution coming from people that you might have not expected. And also people getting downloads out of nowhere, information coming from nowhere, from the places where you might least suspect. There's a lot of things that gonna be downloaded within our crown chakra collectively as a society. Different messages, different things that we need to be doing, different things that we need to implement collectively, different ideas about how we can connect collectively on a spiritual level as well. Because again, crown chakra in connection to our higher selves, to the other realms, is a very, very, very powerful time to do that higher self work and to have a really solid foundation with our physical bodies, but with our spiritual bodies as well. So it's a really, really, really powerful time. So just be mindful of not only how it's affecting society, but how it's affecting you as well. You also want to make sure you know where this placement is for you in your chart, where this transit is happening within your chart. For me, for example, my Venus is in Aquarius. My Venus is in my seventh house, so I'm pretty sure I'm going to get married within the next 2 years. So yeah, stay attuned for that. I'm pretty much married right now, to be honest, but I'm pretty sure that's gonna happen within the next couple of years, if not sooner. Who knows at this point? But yeah, that's how it's affecting me. There's definitely a lot of partnerships that I'm going to be being a part of. Within businesses, within what I'm doing behind the scenes, things that are getting launched that have now gotten pushed back because of the pandemic. But there's a lot of things that are coming, and I'm really excited of how things are going to be evolving with not only my relationships, my personal relationships, but also with the community. Because again, it's society. There's a reason why I love what I do, why I love astrology, because Aquarius also rules astrology. And you're also going to see a lot of people being more in alignment with their natal chart and their path, and seeking that knowledge and actually working with their chart versus working against their energy, which is a very beautiful thing to see. So there's a lot of stuff going on. There's a lot of downloads going on. And if you have not been studying your chart, this is the best time to do it. Saturn in Aquarius is the best time to do it, to have a really strong foundation, to get to know yourself, get to know your opportunities, get to know where your goals are, what you need to work on, what maybe your obstacles are going to be, so you can really start attacking those I don't want to call them weaker points, but more of those kind of opportunities that you need to address, so you can really be your best self. It's really about being your best self, mastering self mastery. We've talked about that a lot through readings in my channel before. And oh, by the way, I do have to mention this. I am going to be working on the the monthly chakra healing videos tomorrow. So they're going to be getting posted. I'm going to try to do them all in one shot, but they do take a lot of energy to tap into every single sign. It's a lot of energy. So I definitely just giving a shout out to everybody who does it weekly and all of these different things on YouTube. It takes a lot of energy to do and connect and tap into all of those readings. And I also want to thank everybody who like follows those videos and comments on them and tries to work on themselves and heal those parts of themselves throughout the month. It is a beautiful thing to do, and working with your chakras is a beautiful thing to do when it comes to healing work. So it's a very powerful thing, and I'm just grateful that you guys can connect with that as well. Now we're gonna pull some cards because I want to know what the tea is for the upcoming month's energy. I'm gonna be using the Ghetto Tarot, which my girlfriend slash wife slash my everything got for me. Hold on. Hold on. Just put this over here. So, let's see what it is that we need to know for the upcoming weeks. Oh, before I do, I'm just going to take some Florida water. I hope that you guys stock up on your Botanica stuff, like, before. You know how everybody stocked up on food? Did anybody stock up on their, like, spiritual tools before this quarantine shut down all the Botanicas? Because, listen. The one thing I was thinking about today, I was like, oh damn, I should have gotten an extra bottle of Florida water. But I think I'm just gonna order one on Amazon, even though I don't like ordering from Amazon because I'm like, I don't want to support their business practices. So, but sometimes it's like they're the only ones that sell that one thing that you need. So it's like, it's a little hard. So let's see. What do we need to know for the month of April? What's coming up? Okay, we got the world. The world. Didn't we get this card last time? I think we did. Okay, the world. So Saturn. I'm mad. The world is Saturn, and he just wants to come out first. Okay, hold on. Then we have the Nine of Cups. Okay. All right. What else do we have coming up for the upcoming weeks collectively? What do we have coming up? Ooh. We have the Six of Cups, the Two of Wands. Okay, we have the Tower in reverse. We have the Seven of Cups. Okay. Two of Pentacles. Hold on. The Ten of Cups. And I'm just going to pull one more card as the outcome for the next upcoming weeks. Oh, more cards wanted to come out. So, bottom of the deck, the Four of Swords, and is that the page? Yeah, that's the Page of Machetes, Page of Swords. Okay. So, the last three cards wanted to come out. We got the Four of Cups in reverse, the Ace of Wands in reverse, and the Queen of Pentacles in reverse. Okay. All right. So, I feel like collectively we understand that this is a lesson for the collective. The situation is a lesson. This pandemic is a lesson for the collective. I think we understand that. I feel like even though a lot of people have been focusing on themselves as far as like, oh my God, I need to stock up on toilet paper and all these crazy things, there is something to be said about this energy, Saturn's energy, and what he's doing. This is not a lesson just for you. This is a lesson for the collective. This is a lesson for, and honestly, there's a lot of karma built up that our society has been implementing. There's just been in backup for a while, and it's really crazy to me because even when you look at Donald Trump and you see what his presidency has been like for the past couple of years, you know he's been miserable for all of these years. He's been trying to play it off as, you know, that everybody's just hating on him all the time, but you know he's been miserable for the past couple of years. And if you really think about it, it's pretty hilarious because he got elected and all he's done the past 4 years has been fight with everybody. Everybody's just been against him. Every single day he has to say something, every single time. And as much as he's a very egotistical person, he also doesn't want to have this friction happening all of the time, back and back and back, just like a punching bag of the country, because that's really what he is, to be honest. But this has been a lesson. He has been a lesson to society just as much as we have been a lesson to him. And everything that's happened, every incident that's happened, every scandal that's happened, and with this pandemic being one of the highlights of his presidency, because we will never forget that motherfucker got impeached as far as I'm concerned. With this being one of the major highlights of his presidency, you have to understand how big of an impact this is having, not only to you as a person, but to the world. And what that looks like moving forward. And really the lesson becomes, and the outcome starts to become, well, when I come out of this, looking into the future, like when I come out of this, I want to make sure my family's safe. I want to like go on vacation. I want to like do something with, like, I want to take a trip. I want to like just celebrate. I want to be happy. All of these, first of all of these cups is back here. Some of those is that check that we being sent. I want to use that money for something. I want to work on my projects. I want to fuel that into something. There's a lot of this kind of thinking about the future, almost in a daydreaming kind of sense. This is why we also have the 7 of Cups in here. In a daydreaming kind of sense, there's just like this, when I come out of this, I'm gonna do that thing that I wanted to do. When I come out of the situation, I'm going to go out into the world. I'm gonna travel. I'm gonna go hiking. I keep saying I'm gonna do it, but I'm gonna do it this time. There's this situation, the fact that people have to stay goddamn home is going to, when people are liberated from this, it's going to make people chase after some very powerful dreams that they've had. And it's going to be very beautiful. And it's going to lead a lot of people into some very interesting places. So wait for it. Now, with the Tower in reverse and the 7 of Cups, this is really like knowing what that Tower moment is. The Tower moment is what's happening constantly. We see the instabilities that we have been founded in, with society, with the government, with how we treat each other, with what matters. And we said it before in the last monthly healing circle. We talked about it. We said medicine, food, and doctors, the healers. Those are the 3 things that matter right now. Those are the 3 things that matter right now. If you think you're gonna come out of this situation and those 3 things are still not gonna matter, you're crazy. That is one of the biggest lessons that you have to come out of from this. You need medicine, you need food, and you need healers. And how do you apply that throughout your life moving forward, moving out of this situation with this 2 of Wands energy? How do you apply this? How can you be happy? How can you get to this point of 10 of freaking cups energy with what you have learned from this situation. Well, I know I'm gonna have to heal things. I know I'm gonna have to feed myself different things. I know I'm gonna have to nurture myself in a different way. I know that I'm gonna have to ask for help. I know that I'm going to need my medicine, and my medicine doesn't need to look like a freaking like medicine like from the doctor. It's not always gonna look like that. Like, what is your medicine? How are you taking care of yourself? How are you taking care of others? What medicine are you giving to others too? Because it's not just about you. Again, Saturn Aquarius, society matters, the collective matters, and this is within different spaces. This is within your family. This is within your group circle. This is with you guys. Like, what matters, okay? So there's this kind of like Seven of Cups energy where you're kind of looking at all of these beautiful possibilities and trying to really balance the energy out. Within the next couple of weeks, we're still, while we're out here daydreaming a little bit and trying to think about, you know what, when I get out of the situation, this is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna do this with the money. I'm gonna go ham on this. I'm gonna do this. Meanwhile, at the same time that that's happening, there is a balance that's happening. Because all of the people that have been sitting around saying, oh, I wish I had more time to work on this project. Oh, I wish this is that moment. This is that thing that you will live to regret. If you choose to have a midlife crisis, you will live to regret because you didn't come out of this situation with the push. If you think about it, we are collectively coming out of this situation not only with money, but with better services, with a knowledge of how we move as a collective, with also even the way we've implemented social distancing. Let's talk about that a little bit. Even with implementing social distancing, we do a lot when it comes to, oh, we want to party, we want to be out, we want to be together, and there's a beauty about that connectivity, that, you know, let's hang out. And again, Aquarius rules society, so there is this highlight of what we do together, how we're connecting together. But right now there is this detachment going on, which is also very Aquarius, because it's like, hey, I need space in order for me to come back into this group and be able to be conscious and speak and do things that are true to me, true to what I need to contribute to this space. That is very Aquarius energy, to have to distance yourself, to have to socially be like, I rule society, but I must distance myself from society in order for me to help society itself. Do you see how that literally all ties together? Like, how all of these things that are happening currently all just like, boop, it just all makes sense. Astrology. Honestly, astrology. It's a very beautiful thing. But it does a lot for balancing. You do have to balance the time that you spend not only with others, but with yourself when you distance yourself. The times that you're spending now thinking, oh my God, when I get out, this is what I'm gonna do. Like, I'm gonna go party. Like, I know my girlfriend, she wants to go to a show so bad. She wants to rave so bad. She wants to be at a festival, just headbanging so bad. That's really what she wants to do right now. And she's just like thinking and just listening to music and just like thinking about wanting to be within that connective space. But right now we're all just like thinking about all of these other things that we also need to make time for, which is also something that she's doing. She's also saying, okay, you know what, but I also need to do this. I want to buy this equipment for this reason. I want to make sure I'm working on my goals, my dreams. I want to make sure I'm putting time for that. So you know what, now that I got time, and now that I'm getting money, and because we both work in grocery stores, which is hilarious. And it's so funny because last year she kept saying, why did we both end up working at grocery stores? And now it's like, oh, we're both essential. Oh, we both still working. Oh, we're still getting a check. Oh, we're still putting that money towards this now. These are the goals that we're putting it towards. We're still paying the bills, but we have different perspectives. We're doing different things. We're implementing different things. And it's so beautiful how much time you have right now. And that is very Saturn energy. He has given thou time to work on the things that Yah said Yah didn't have time to do. So it's like the society right now is taking a step back. It is detaching. within itself in order to come back within itself and have people contributing more things to society. Because it's not only to say that, you know, the way we need those like three main essential things, that those are the only ways those things get implemented. There's different healers that don't look like healers or traditional, you know, healers. There's different medicine that doesn't look like medicine, and there's different ways to take in food or to nurture yourself that might not look like food. So you have to really look at all of the things that are going on and all of this time that you have and all of this chaos that you already know is happening. This is why it's in reverse. You're not waiting for it to happen. It's already happening. And taking that time to be like, okay, you know what? Things are crazy out here, but I'm going to use this time to balance myself out. So when I come out of this, I can actually reach some of the goals that I want. I can kind of strive towards this 10 of Cups energy and go at it a little bit more full force. Like I keep saying I want to do that thing, but I haven't gone for that thing. So let me actually, I have some time now. Let me work on that. That's really what it's kind of being, like our weeks are being kind of shaped into right now. That's that energy that's being shaped into right now. Now, for some of y'all are still gonna be going through some things. And I mean, you know, retrogrades are retrogrades, and they're gonna bring up a lot of different things for different reasons. However, because things are moving as slow as they are and things are taking as much time as they are, it does seem like the way that we're embodying these reverse cards right here with the Four of Cups in reverse, the Ace of Wands, and the Queen of Pentacles, it almost seems like what your perspective is in how things usually manifest are not being done that way right now. So it's like, even if you dream up all of these things, is it going to happen? Like, are you actually going to manifest that thing into your life? Are you going to create this space into your life? It's a very kind of weird energy to feel like. It's almost like I feel like I'm in limbo. Like I have all this time, but like, I can't put it there. And it's so fun. It's a really funny, weird limbo to be in. However, at the same time, you have to understand that this ace, because this is the problem specifically within this reading. The Ace of Wands is the problem. You have all of these ideas. You know how you want to come out of this. You want to be happy. You want to be healthy. You want us all to move forward as a collective in a better way, right? But then this becomes a problem, because we want the Ace of Wands, and the Ace of Wands moves very quickly. And this is not something that needs to move very quickly. So when it comes to how we emotionally feel towards it, we already have accepted the reality of the situation, even though it doesn't feel good. We have accepted it. This is why the Four of Cups is also in reverse. But then when it comes to the physical side of implementing it in the physical realm, implementing these opportunities, these ideas, the things that we want to apply, all of these things that we're like, okay, you know what, I have time for it now. I'm working on it now. Can I do it now? Can I go out? No, oh, I can't do it now because everything's closed. Oh, I can't do it now. Society is not on right now, so I can't give that which I have to society right now. This Ace of Wands is the problem throughout this reading. You are not meant to implement anything to society right now. This is not what this time is for. And I recommend you use this time, this pentacle energy, in a more productive way. In this way, in the balancing way, in the actually looking at your circumstances and putting in using the time to consciously, mentally process what it is that you need to do, and then apply that learning and those ideas and work on those projects that you need to work on. If you need to work on music, write. Give yourself time to write, work, sort out some of your trauma, listen to some of the messages, ask spirit for help. There's different ways to move without moving within society. You can make moves within your space versus within like the way you think that movement goes, and the way that you see manifestation goes is like, well, I have to manifest it in the physical realm. No, right now you have time. You have time to yourself. It is a very powerful thing when you need to work on something. I tell you, when this whole thing is over, I expect all of these goddamn artists, including Rihanna, to release all these damn albums that they've been dying to release. I expect everybody to be touring. Everybody. Okay? I wouldn't be surprised if they have a whole coronavirus festival or coronavirus is over festival party, like on a grand scale. I would not be surprised, because it's about really plotting for the future and plotting for the opportunity of movement forward when we have that shot. But right now, it's not about, oh, I really want to open a business. I want to look at places. I've been thinking about it. I think I know what I want to launch. I want to know how I want to do it. And then trying to do it in the physical realm when everything's fucking closed. It makes no sense. Don't do that. What you need to do is look at everything. Go over every detail. All the business. Make your business plan. Do everything. Cross all the T's. Like dot all the I's. It's about using your time wisely, not trying to run and implement shit that you can't implement right now, because you know you can't give anything to society right now. So take this time to hold this ace until you can use it. Okay? It's like, if this is a game, you're holding the ace until you can use it, and then when you can use it, then you go for it. But right now, we need the balance. Okay? The balance. That's what we need. Right, Pinky? You Libra. Okay, so let's pull some other oracle cards. Actually, I want to pull this one. I'm gonna use the Zodiac Oracle, which is one of my favorite like decks to see which planetary energies are going to be, you know, active within the next couple of weeks. So what planetary energy or elements do we need to focus on? Okay, we got Neptune and Uranus. Ooh, okay. Okay, hold on. No, that was half the deck. Nah. Planetary energies do we need to focus on for the next couple of weeks? Energies do we need to focus on? Oh, and then we got Scorpio. All right. Bottom of the deck is water and Pluto. Wow. Wow. Okay. So we got Neptune, Uranus, and Scorpio as the energies that we need to focus on for the next upcoming weeks. I'm not really surprised about this at all. Neptune ruling spirituality, the subconscious mind, dream work, our creativity. I already said working on projects. This could be creative projects. This could be spiritual projects. This could be many different things. Uranus, the planet of, like, honestly, innovation in many ways. And unexpected, the unexpected. And also the planet who rules Aquarius, co-ruling, I guess you can say. But this is a very futuristic energy. This is the upgrade of society that we've been talking about throughout this whole entire video. And this is also ruling of the crown chakra as well. So there is a lot of kind of downloads that we need to start working on, not only for ourselves, but also to give to society, different messages and things that you need. And you can ask spirits to help you, like, hey, what is my purpose when I come out of this? What is my purpose? What do I need to contribute to society? What must I work on? What must I give forward? What must I come up with? What is it that I'm meant to do? And ask for those downloads to come in. That's that Uranus energy. When you're asking for those kind of futuristic, even like working with the future and asking for, like, oh, what does your future look like? What's coming up for me? All these things. That's Uranus. That's Uranus energy. So just really working not only with spirituality, with your creativity, and with your subconscious mind, but also with your higher conscious mind, because Uranus rules the higher conscious mind. So there is very much this connection between the two. Pluto out here ruling, I'm sorry, Scorpio, might as well say Pluto, but Scorpio ruling the unconscious mind. Speaking about different ways that we can transform during this period of time, how we can elevate ourselves during this period of time, what truth we need to seek during this period of time. And again, this comes from the downloads that we're asking for. Like, where are they coming from? What information do we need to know? Scorpio also speaks on working with the dead. So our spirit guides, our ancestors, those who we do not necessarily see with our two eyes, but with our third eye. So working with those spirits, working with those energies, how we are listening to them, what information we're getting from them, are we asking for assistance from them? Like, what does that look like? What does your relationship look like with your family, with the dead, especially as people are crossing over right now, like right now. So it's a really powerful time, not only to work with the future, but also work with the current, what's happening currently. And I feel like a lot of people are going to have to do a lot of ancestor work as well within the next upcoming weeks, because a lot of people are going to be passing. And this is not something, I'm not really surprised about this at all, especially because Pluto and water is underlining this. I'm not surprised about this at all, because this pandemic was coming with death. You can't have something affect society without death being the root of the problem. Death in many ways, because there's a death in the way our laws are, the way things are being transformed, what we have now that we didn't have before. There's a death within the physical body. There's a death within the government as well. You're going to see a lot of more deaths coming up within the next couple of weeks, and how you deal with it, how you deal with those deaths has to be in a transformative way, no matter how hard it is. And this is why I say I'm gonna have to do a lot of, like, well, for one thing, I'm gonna have to do the ritual to welcoming an ancestor tonight, which is going to be intense, but I feel like a lot of people are going to have to do that as well. So, transmute, talking about that Scorpio energy. Let's know for the upcoming weeks. Truth. I mean, at this point, this is just saying exactly what I just said. You know, sometimes I feel like Spirit just likes to troll. Okay, this is one of those times. So we got death again, and I don't see it as like death and transformation. Yes, death and transformation, but also like death. Those numbers are gonna go up. I'm sorry to say, they're going to go up. The higher they go, the more society changes from those numbers. People always need to die in order for it to be changed in a societal way. This is why Uranus is very unexpected. This is why Uranus rules like car accidents and like, you know, like different things randomly like happening. Uranus, listen. And Uranus is currently in Taurus. I wouldn't be surprised if there's like some accidents that happen. Maybe like, oh, there's a pandemic and now there's a tornado or something like that. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if some stuff like that starts happening, just because listen, this year is going to be something. And I feel like it's going to change a lot of things. We are in many ways at war currently. And this is going to be different. And I hope that you guys are ready to deal with the unexpected happening. Okay. So, Asset. Wepa. Okay, hold on. Asset. What do we need to know for the upcoming weeks? What do we need to know for the upcoming weeks? Okay, hold on. Oh, okay, this is the card that was trying to jump out before. This is Miracle of Isis, miraculous healing from the goddess. And she's with Osiris in this. This is the spirit of Isis, triumph of the goddess. And this is the brother in darkness, overcoming negative energy with feminine power. And I'm really not surprised about this. There's, if you notice, there's 2 water energies within here. There's Neptune, and then there's Scorpio. And I personally feel like a lot, and again, the underlining is water and then Pluto. I personally feel like there's, with everything happening, a lot of people need nourishment. Nourishment is going to be one of the key factors into how we move forward from what is happening. And I think there's going to be a lot of people that are going to need, like, it's almost like that Cancer energy. They're going to need just like a hug. They're going to need to cry. They're going to need like therapy. They're going to need like, there's going to be a lot of emotional breakdowns happening. And I think some of you guys are going to have to get that nourishment, that divine feminine nourishment from spirit themselves. And you're going to have to hold space. You're going to have to cry. You're going to, like, your rituals might look a little bit different within the upcoming weeks. It might just be you holding space to be vulnerable and cry within those spaces. And it's not going to feel the most comfortable, but it's necessary. I feel like it's something that needs to be overcome with the truth. And I feel like one of the best ways that we've ever been able to accept the truth of something is through that divine mother, divine feminine energy. And then you can think about every single time when you were a kid and like maybe you fell down, or when you were a kid and you got bullied or something, and just getting that nourishment in that moment with your, like, that feminine representation, that divine feminine representation within your life, that mothering energy, that nourishment, where it was just like, you know what, I just really needed to be held on that moment. I just really needed to be comforted. I just really needed that. That is something that a lot of people are going to be craving, and a lot of people are going to need. There's going to be a lot of tears shed. There's going to be a lot of transformation that happens, that comes from all of this. I feel like this is one of those times where you really need to be in the moment as much as you can, and say what you need to say to people now as well, because I feel like there's going to be those people that want to be stubborn and be in these weird moments where they don't tell somebody that they care about them, or they don't, and then something happens and then they lose that person. It can be a traumatic time if you let it be traumatic, but I do see a lot of tears shed within the next couple of weeks. Listen, it's gonna be a very emotional time. And we're not even in Cancer season yet. Jesus Christ. What a weird way to start the astrological year, right? Pandemic. What do we see for the upcoming weeks? We got Ghostlands. We got Wizard of Awareness. And we got Flying. And the bottom of the deck is Magical Map Shifter. I'm not really surprised about that either. I'm not really surprised about that. I feel like it's really about being conscious of what's going on around you with these cards, because it's definitely gonna feel like Ghostlands right now. It's definitely gonna feel like that. And what are you doing within your consciousness, within your awareness, with what you know? How are you acting? How are you moving forward? There's still things that need to be said and done even if you're not necessarily doing the things that you used to do. There's still things that need to be said and done. But how are you seeking that within your circumstance? How are you seeking that awareness? Where are you going? Where are you allowing your mind to go? How are you asking for more? How are you asking Spirit to take you to the places that you need healing from? How are you chasing your own healing, your own experiences? What you need to experience right now within these moments. How are you doing that? How are you progressing? Are you asking for more, or are you just waiting for things to go back to normal, which they're not going to go back to normal, if you were curious about that. So how are you doing that? Because this can be a very good time, or it can be a very hard time. And it's only hard if you choose to remain detached without purpose. And I say this a lot in my Aquarius readings. It's a message that comes a lot when I'm doing the chakra healing videos for Aquarius. For those Aquariuses who see those videos, for some reason that message comes a lot. You guys need to detach with purpose. A lot. That's one of the things that you need to do in order to be your best selves. And this is where that Wizard of Awareness energy comes in. That's when you will be flying with the energy, because even in these dark times, when you detach, what is it for? It's like the Hermit card, like what Virgo does. They detach with purpose. They detach to be illuminated. Aquarius needs to be sometimes reminded that that's also something that they need to do. So I'm going to pull some cards from the After Tarot to see what's coming up for the next couple of weeks. Okay. Bottom of the deck is the Queen of Pentacles and the Knight of Pentacles and Judgment. Never surprised. Never surprised. Okay. So we have the Knight of Cups, the Five of Wands in reverse. We have Justice. We have the Emperor. We have the Three of Cups. And we have the Hierophant, which I'm also not surprised about, as Aries season transitions into Taurus season. I'm not really surprised about this. So there is definitely the karma being kind of resolved, and the societal karma that's being resolved, because the conflict, if you see, it's still upside down. There's still things that are, while we are in our feelings and very emotional with this King of Cups energy, while we're kind of going through the motions of trying to master our emotions, tap into our creativity, tap into our purpose, tap into our spirituality, become our better selves, while we're trying to do all of these things, there is still this, I'm sorry, not the Five of Wands, the Seven of Wands. While we're in reverse, while we're still in the space of being detached on an emotional level, just with ourselves, there's still this kind of like, when I come back into society, what is this gonna look like? Like, if you look at this card, at the Seven of Wands, especially in the After Tarot, he gets up from the hill to come whip some ass, and it's in reverse, which means that the way you come out of the situation is not like very confident and very like, you know what, I beat this, there's a humbling that is happening with everybody, that it would be mindful for you to understand. And this also goes hand in hand to those people who are like younger and like basically are going to these coronavirus parties and all the stupid stuff that people are doing right now, which is ridiculous. But there is this karmic justice that is being dealt here, because again, Saturn is still doing its thing. And as far as society goes, y'all not gonna come out of this being like, oh, you know what, yeah, I survived, I'm like it's not gonna be any of that. There's gonna be like, it's a humbling, it's a, you know what, things can come out of nowhere. There's things that I cannot control, but I still can control how I live my life. So I'm going to do that, because this has taught me that being put in a box that I pay for, that I own, I can choose what I do within those moments, but I can also go crazy and lose my mind if I let myself. So there is this humbling, there is this balance of the spiritual mind, of the body, of the justice within society, of the government, of how we treat each other, of how we come out of this together. And there's gonna be this transitional phase from Aries into Taurus season. I feel like people are going to find ways to connect collectively as well, when it comes to like, I feel like on a social media level, because Aquarius also rules social media. So on a technological level, you might see some more stuff happening, like people doing lives and people connecting with different apps or creating different apps and stuff like that. Ways that we can still have fun and connect as a society while being detached on the physical level. So there is kind of like this transition from Aries into Taurus season, with it feeling a little bit less heavy, and still having those moments of connecting with each other where we're not just like in pain, but we're having moments of, you know what, I really needed to talk to you. I didn't have time to talk to you all this time, but you know what, I really wanted to talk to you, and I'm so glad that I got to talk to you. It was just like whether you're telling your mom that, or your friend that, or whoever needed to hear it, that is a very beautiful time to focus on those relationships right now, and that transition from one to the other. So that is the energy I'm seeing for the next couple of weeks. I'm really excited to see how next month comes and how Taurus season is as well, because Taurus season is always a very beautiful time. Like, I enjoy Taurus energy a lot. So I'm excited to see how it goes, how we move forward, what new things we can innovate and what we get to kind of do. And I can't wait for us to see this through completely and see where we are as a society as well. So yeah, I can't wait. I will be posting the date for next month's live. It's probably going to be towards the end of the month on a Monday next month, so stay tuned for that. But I'm going to be posting the monthly chakra healing videos. That's going to be posted. That's going to start tomorrow. And there's going to be more videos as well. Don't forget to check out the Patreon. I'm also going to be posting the monthly community spell, so they're going to vote on it. That's going up tonight, and I'm very excited about it. So let's still do some spell work. Let's still work collectively. Don't forget to check that out. And I will see you guys in the next video. I hope that you guys stay safe, that are well, that you guys are using your abilities and your powers and what you know to protect yourselves, to keep your family safe as well. And work on the things that you need to work on. Don't, be just like lost in the sauce and like letting yourself get depressed and like just being upset and just being in a funk. Like, have those funky moments, but at the same time, let yourself move forward and let yourself still work with the energy, even though the energy is very, very like focused on something else right now. And this goes to show you that you are not necessarily the center of your own universe. And I feel like Aquarius as a sign teaches you that lesson. You are not the center of the universe. You might be the center of your universe, but at the end of the day, we are all in this universe together. So how we move forward, how we progress matters. So I hope you have a beautiful night. I had a wonderful time talking to you guys. I told you I was going to talk a lot. I'm also Gemini. You can't get mad at me. But I will see you guys in the next video. Have a beautiful night.